बाहर आते हैं वो
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the final day, day number 5 of the regional finals of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021, the Bangladesh region, of course, sponsored to you by Oppo Reno 5. So finally, after such a long journey, we have come to the moment where we will have our victors amidst us. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be Blood Legion? Is it going to be INES? Is it going to be Gods Reborn? Or someone else? So we still have 4 matches for you lined up for today, but we will also be moving along with our conversation with my analyst and my co-caster. That's going to be Necro. So, Necro, final 4 games, 2 matches of Erangel, 2 and 1 Sanhok and 1 Miramar. What do you think is going to happen today?
I mean, it's literally the final day, you know? This is where you do or die. Each and every single team will have to put the best on the table. Of course, the guys on the bottom leaderboards, I mean, they're not really going to be having, you know, a really good chance unless they just get, like, absolutely 4 chicken dinners back to back. Then maybe there's a little bit of chance for them. Or then also it's, like, kind of questionable. But still, overall, taking a look at the, you know, from top 8 position, the point difference is not that big. And anything can happen, you know? One chicken dinner can change the faces. And, of course, between KSX and Gods Reborn, there's a massive rivalry building up.
Yes, and since it's the final day, we might get to see some teams there and there. But, well, all these teams are fighting for one thing, a chance to represent themselves and their country in the PUBG Mobile Pro League, ladies and gentlemen. 3 slots from the Bangladeshi region, rather 3 teams, the top 3 teams will be qualifying for the PMPL.
Indeed, of course, and the top 3 teams, of course, as we're talking about, there's the rivalry building up between KSX and Gods Reborn, of course. But now, even INES is in those close quarters, and Gods Reborn might be also taking the position down. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Even if they go down to 3rd position, it's still going to be securing the spot. But also, one thing over here is that the top 8 teams are going to be trying their best as well today. One wrong mistake can literally cost them this spot.
Yeah, I mean, one small mistake can be very, very detrimental to them. But right now, let's take a look at what's on the line in terms of money that we are talking about. And it is the massive prize pool of $29,200, out of which the top 3 teams will be getting the majority of it, and also the slots for the PMPL.
Indeed, of course, the slots for the PMPL. This is what the top 3 people are fighting for. And overall, yesterday, Blood Legion wasn't really able to show up. You know, they weren't really able to open up. But certainly, it doesn't really matter because they have literally just frozen their spot on the top 1 position, of course. But we did see a really decimating performance coming from Gods Reborn.
Yeah, I mean, Gods Reborn really made that comeback happen. Even KS and throughout. So, yeah, so a lot of changes can be made here and there in terms of the point standings, because we have seen that happen. We have seen the points table, being so wobbly in terms of how teams are, positioned themselves. So how do you do that? You earn your points. So let's take a look at the point system that we have. It's just pretty much standard since the last PFPL. And well, first position gets 15, and so on reduces where 13 to 16 just get that 0 points. So for every single kill that you get, you have that 1 point. So teams will be going aggressive. A lot of teams, say teams like Max, we did see them, kind of stepping away from their bubble, just going after squads and trying to hurt the others in the process. Trying to get collateral damage done. And we're going to see a lot of it today from what I really anticipate, because that has been customary. So we can see some other teams, dropping off as someone else's drop spot, trying to get theirs, trying to take them down early on.
Of course, tackling early on is going to be a big thing, because of course in the early phases, none of them really have good loots, and this is where you actually have a best chance if your team has good loot, of course, and you prefer guns that you really want to fight with. But the main fact I really want to focus here is log 1. Now, they're certainly not really in those kill numbers, they're not really doing well, but certainly somewhere down the line, they're really doing good in those positioning. But also yesterday, log 1 wasn't really able to show up in the late game phase as well. But now this time, log 1 will have to change something here. They will have to change the way they play.
Yeah, of course, and now we will have to take a look at all the teams that are participating for one last final time. And only three teams will be qualifying ahead, and the winners will be of course declared. But right now, taking a look, INES, Blood Legion, and Eccentric Infinity. I think they've taken quite a fall after the second day's amazing performances. They've not really been able to step up, and the same can be said for IPGX. I mean, they've pretty much been in the bottom of things. They did manage one chicken dinner, but that was just about it.
Indeed, yeah, that was just about it. But now, I mean, the thing for Eccentric over here is like, the way they will have to play here is that they would at least have to win 2 games over here, back to back, or either like, even in those 4 games, even any of those 2 games are going to be necessary for them to actually try and contest for those top 3 positions. But now overall, we do know Eccentric does have it in there, but now how are they going to be handing things out? As we were seeing, like, all these teams, just like fighting in those late game situations, and it just gets so havoc, it's just all over the place. The claustrophobia is just all over the place.
Even A1 952. I mean, they also might have a good chance at making a comeback, and they had almost made it up until the point they messed up in the last 2 games, and that is where it really hurt them, right? So I definitely will be on all the teams, position from say 4th position to up until the 6th or 7th, because that's where they have the chance. But before we get started, let's take a look at the overall storyboard, the overall storyline that we've been building out so far. You can see, Blood Legion sitting at the tippity top, the contestation. I mean, TRZ still might have a possible chance of making a comeback if they get a chicken dinner or 2.
Indeed, I mean, we did see TRZ get a massive chicken dinner there yesterday, and certainly that changed so many things for TRZ going up in those late game favors as well. But then overall over here, taking a look at even A1 1952, they're also doing so good, and they're also in those top rivalries.
I mean, of course, TRZ has been very close to a chicken, but haven't really managed to get one yet. And the other teams over here, we've got SLX, Ironic, and if you talk about IPG4 Arc, well, these are the teams, IPG4 Arc, we have to touch upon them. Even AGT9X, in terms of kills, they've been getting it. In terms of position, they've been doing it. But right now, I mean, anything could possibly happen, to be honest. I have my mind shut, because how these teams are performing, that's really out of the world to explain. Now, let's take a look at a head-to-head stats between KSX and God's Reborn, wherein we can see God's Reborn doing fairly well in terms of the chicken dinners that they've earned. But KSX, sheer consistency being shown over here, and they've still managed to maintain that slight gap. It's just about 5 points.
Indeed, of course. I mean, this is what I was telling you, there's going to be massive competition between these 2 teams, and they really want to tackle each other's positions down. But especially KSX would want to actually steal the position from God's Reborn, that they have the top 3 position over there. But now taking a look at the damage dealt as well, KSX somewhere lacking down below, even in those kill numbers. I mean, not far away, and certainly total points also not far away. So, I mean, it's definitely not going to be that hard for KSX to overall take their position.
Yeah, of course. But before we get started, let's take a look at the schedule that we have in front of our screens over here: Erangel, Samhawk, Miramar, and Erangel. So, like we can see, starting things off with this day. So, Erangel is the map, the first map that we're going to play in, and that's the first map that we have been playing in so far. And if you talk about it, right, so where do you think the circle is going to pan out, or where do you want the circle to go for, the action to get even more intense?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I don't really want to be rude and say military base, but the main circle that we want to pan out is definitely going to be overall in the complete between of the map. Now, of course, this is where there's most cover, and all the teams will have equal chance of contesting each other.
Yeah, of course, they certainly might, and anything can possibly happen. And right now, I mean, I've kind of you've called for the military-based circle, right? I really want to see something maybe towards the quarry area, or maybe again a Gata circle. That's what I want. Maybe towards the western shorelines. But right now, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's just hop into the first game, where the flight path trajectory is going all the way from the Sosnovka military base towards shooting range.
I mean, yeah, of course. And INE is one of the teams that really haven't been able to open up as well, just like ERZ, TRZ. And certainly they are in those top positions as well, as they have managed to contest themselves the second position. But certainly somewhere down the line, they do know that they need to contest the chicken dinner as well, just to overall, top it up to actually for their repetition points as well. And certainly ERZ, TRZ also need to get their numbers on the board when it comes to those chicken dinner. But now we all know where Wolves always goes. It's of course going to be the military base, but then overall favorite as well. It's certainly going to be, I really feel like the circle might be in the middle of the map, as we might be, just taking a look at where XCVS is going this time, because XCVS is really struggling, and we all know XCVS actually needs to do something to, keep themselves inside the game as well. And certainly it's not going to be as easy as we are saying. It will be taking a little bit of time, a lot of hard work, and taking the fact into consideration that first game is already being played from the 4 games. Now is when the real rivalry starts.
I mean, yeah. All the teams have taken the plunge. Team Wolves not really having a good time this time during the regional finals, could not do much. They were struggling. They showed some signs, but that was just about it. But as we move along further, so
decent circle.
Yeah, we do see a decent circle. It might just pan around Pachinki, or maybe across the hills around Pachinki. But taking a look at that, we've got the boys from ALK9, but I really want to see how AGT9 or SLX Ironic, like I mentioned, perform in this one.
I mean, indeed, yeah, we all would want to be, just watching out how they're going to be performing over there. Just to take a look, Sakil's just trying to shoot out anyone from the mid-air from Max, but certainly it's not going to be that easy. As we all know, Max like to prefer that Milta Power area all the time, and certainly they are going to be doing that. But KSAC is one of the teams that has been really consistent overall in those positioning points as well, and somewhere down the line, they're also managed to secure a lot much more kills as well. But certainly this is the time, as we were talking about, the final time where they need to actually rack up the kills as well, but at the same time also rack up the positioning points. A small mistake can cost them so much, and this is where all these teams realize. And even God's Reborn, now they're the one in a really crucial state. I'm pretty sure the most of the pressure over here is going to be on the God's Reborn side as well, because if they even get knocked out in the first position in any of the games that are happening in the future, then that's going to be a massive trouble for them.
Yeah, that certainly will.
Oh, look
and
at
there
that.
you go. IPGX taking a fall right from the early get-go. Sinix has been taken out. The Visit Tower is where he's fallen, and INES will, of course, want to confirm that kill. And INES is considering the standings in the overall leaderboards. I think they would want to, try and get as many points as possible to solidify, their slot confirmed for the PL. Because we know the boys from Blood Legion have already, sort of qualified, because that kind of a lead, it's really, really hard. And I mean, if Blood Legion sort of win one more game, and it's over. It's over, no matter how many, no matter if they take a fall or whatever it is, they're still going to be at the tippity top. But one of the players of INES taking some beating by Mahfouz, who's just peppering down those bullets onto his. That's not the right choice of weapon though. Bison at such a long range does not really fare off well.
It did, of course. It's an SMG, so of course it's not going to be doing that much damage as you want it to in those long ranges, and certainly it does thrive in those close ranges. We all know how lethal it can be sometimes. But overall, people still prefer Uzi in those close ranges, especially having that higher fire rate. could definitely be panning out so many things in your favor as well. But now overall, getting back to our conversation, of course, losing one of their members in those early game phases is going to be costing them so much, as they do know that this is the final day, and especially making those kind of rookie mistakes is definitely going to be, you know, erasing them off slowly and slowly from the leaderboards as well. But now A1 1952 that we all have our eyes on, this team certainly can make it as well, because the last time, what a comeback from them.
I mean, yeah, A1 1952 in terms of how they're doing, they're not far behind, you know, they still have a good chance. They're still in the race over here, and if they get a chicken, so they might as well try to contest for the third spot. But they need to get 2 if they want the second. But I think they could be satisfied with just third position. But there you can see the players of Log 1 taking some beating, as one of their players is already knocked out.
Indeed. I mean, Log 1, you really need to step your gameplay up this time. Making these kind of mistakes is definitely going to be so much more hurtful for you guys. And certainly, yep, losing a member early on. And of course, I feel like it's going to be kind of a revenge seasoning coming out for IPGX there, because also they were the one who lost one of their members early on. But certainly now one of the other teams has also lost their members early on. Now they might be feeling a little bit, you know, a little bit light.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they would be feeling. But to be honest, IPG4R, this is a team, you know, especially Stranger. He's been there for his squad every single time, in every single fight. He's been doing a lot, trying to, you know, survive till the very end. And, moving forward, we've got the players of Max Esports. So, you know, this is a team that has been kind of willy-nilly just the one-day glory that they had during the group stages. That's just about it. And they could not do much. You know, we had high expectations from the likes of Ironclad and King. Well, they have surprisingly failed. But like we mentioned, you know, this is just a learning curve for them. This is just a learning chance. And this was the first PMCO. I'm pretty sure by the next time when they qualify, and which they might, you know, considering how they've been playing, I think we might get to see something promising next time around.
I mean, of course, yeah, this is going to be a massive, you know, learning process for these guys. And certainly they might be, you know, even panning the strategies out according how they got tackled the last time. So, of course, in the future, they will be also panning the strategies out way much more better. So, in case they won't just get tackled like they did this time. But now, overall, taking a look at God Reborn's stats, seems like they're going to be having 152 total points. Of course, we all know they are somewhere down the lines in those top 3 situations, and KSX is just right behind them. And then A1 comes down below them. But now, of course, the fight is going to be between all these 3. Now, even A1 is aiming for God's Reborn spot, and even KSX is aiming for God's Reborn spot. And Log 1 certainly will be, but at the same time, they still want to move slowly. We all know Log 1 is kind of those snails who move slowly on those leaderboards, but certainly they keep on moving. It's not like they're going to be stopping on one spot. So Log 1 also going to be moving slowly, and they will try to contest the spots one by one. But certainly now we're here, which thing is going to be certainly interesting is how A1 is also going to be managing the thing, like managing the situation, pan themselves out.
Oh, well, it's very hard to tell right now as to what is going to happen to Log 1. But right now, what we can certainly tell is God's Reborn. They are angry. They are men on a mission. They've already started racking up a few kills here and there, and IPGX taking the second knock over here. And Gentleman will make no mistake, trying to secure the knock again, but he gets knocked back in return. Now B1 would want to confirm that kill, but you have Washiro coming in the nearby fray. So B1, in fact, trying to hold on, as we've seen the players of God's Reborn trying to surround them from multiple angles. How is IPGX going to survive this one out?
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. It seems like B1 is going to be flanking his way across. Does know that there is, you know, some hurt men behind that buggy over there, behind God's Reborn's buggy. But how is he going to be taking them down, though? Of course, trying to flank his best. Going to be using a little bit of utilities just to flush them out. But it doesn't really seem like that's going to be connecting anytime soon. B1 making his positioning good, but also taking so much shots while he is also trying to position himself. Just take a look at the aggression coming from Gentleman. But certainly going to get taken down and wiped out as well. Beautiful stuff coming from B1. But now over here, Koa is in a massive world of trouble as he just reloaded the gun, but also connecting his last bullet onto B1, and that's going to be certainly enough.
Yeah, that certainly is going to be enough. And IPGX, well, considering this team has not been doing very well, but right now you can see they're still putting up a fight. Marshall taking down Koa over here. This is going to hurt hurt them. This is gonna hurt their purpose. And maybe God's Reborn kind of took too much on their plate, more than they can chew. And Mahfouz, wow, I mean, he's back on his foot. He's taken down another player, and that just brings SLXGR just to one player. That's 1v4, and it's not a 1v4 situation, it's a 1v3. But I mean, how is he going to do that, make that 1v2? Because they somehow did manage to take down one player, but well, at the cost of what? This is something that God's Reborn could not have really afforded, and you know, lack in conviction sort of led to their fall so early on, and they have to survive somehow, at least get those position points to be still in the race for the top 3 slots.
I mean, of course, as you are trying to get contested by squads like KSAX and A1, you are certainly not supposed to make mistakes like these, because your spot might get stolen anytime soon. If one Y4 gets knocked out, then things are just basically over. They are not going to be having those top 3 spots. But of course, there are some future games coming in. Then maybe God's Reborn can make a comeback to those top 3. But certainly, I mean, if you have that top 3 spot going in for yourself, maybe you should just try playing safe. You know, maybe you should not just aggress through and be overconfident, and then just like, you know, if situations just don't pan out for yourself, then yeah, you're just going to be in a massive world of trouble. Unless you're Blood Legions, then things are certainly different.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Rightly put. But you know, Blood Legions have been silent so far. They haven't been making a lot of noises, and they know that if they can secure just that one chicken dinner, they sort of solidify their position on the top spot. No one's going to be able to touch them. So that's what they must be eyeing out for. And maybe in the second, third, and fourth game, we might just witness them completely, you know, going really aggressive in the lobby. And now the boys over here for IPG4 app. Well, they've got a good spot, but IPGX, I mean, Infernal Parasites, they've managed to get 4 kills right from the early start, not really having the time of life that they would have wanted in this tournament, but certainly can do better.
Of course, they can be doing better, but now taking a look at over here, there are so many teams trying to make the rotation inside the circle. Of course, that's going to be happening. Respecting the circle is the main factor inside the game. But King certainly seems like he is going to get caught off guard and also trying his best to crawl inside cover, but seems like he will be safe for now, as none others the squad are not trying to contest onto him. So maybe he will be safe for a little while. But now taking a look at over here, seems like Leo is going down as well. Or he's barely surviving though, but his foot is showing, and seems like Sketch is not going to be able to spot that. But certainly King is still down now. The King definitely needs that res onto him. But overall, taking a look at Caffeine, seems like he does realize what is going on right in front of him, and one of the worst position Max can also offer inside this entire game. As we take a look at Gyro and Rayan, seems like XB Blood Legion is actually crumbling down slowly, like missing out on a player like Rayan might be a massive world of trouble. But how are things going to be panning out in favor of Blood Legions? It's going to be compelling to see as we take a look. Seems like Insane is just going to be panning. Insane is just going to be barraging those bullets onto his enemy, and certainly like King is barely surviving on his foot as well. As we take a look at Casper also making a little bit of desperation movement on the map as well, trying to change his position. But now take a look at Ironclad out in the open of the field. Of course, Caffin is going to be capitalizing onto his position, but certainly not going to be able to connect any shot, because Caffin does have that little bit of reach onto himself, and certainly going to be making the rotation as well. But now Caffin finally going to be finding Ironclad, and he's going down.
Yeah, of course. And, you know, along with, you know, Team Max, we've got the players of Blood Legion in a bit of a pickle over here. But Ironclad taking that DBS right on his face, being smacked off. And I can understand him just blowing the smithereens over there just from that gun. I mean, it's so devastating. But as we move along further, every team, you know, we do see that aggression now back again from all these sides. Everyone wanting to get those kill points for themselves. Everyone going so aggressive today. And the circle has taken a lot of interesting turns over here. But the second airdrop coming in, the Groza, the gun that reeks violence, that reeks of death itself. So we gotta see as to which team, you know, kind of goes for this, because it's a very, very risky spot to, you know, go in there. But there you can see the players of Blood Legion getting into Kerfuffle against the players of ERC, TRC, but sort of avoiding that. And now their eyes set onto its the boys of KSX.
Indeed. I mean, of course, just take a look at the rotation coming in from ERZ, TRZ as well. Don't really seem like they're going to get scared and just making those rotation out in the open, but certainly seems like Mamba might get contested from Dominic if he managed to hit some shots, and certainly it's not going to be happening because it's a Mini 14. And you will have to be really precise when shooting that gun as well. But certainly, if he had an M4, he might have managed to, at least connect 1 or 2 shots in the process. But certainly seems like ALK9 are going to be spotting ERZ, TRZ as well in their nearby vicinity. But how long are they going to be able to stay safe? That's going to be the interesting part to witness, because I mean, certainly the fight might be erupting in between them anytime soon as we take a look at White Cat also out in the open, out of nowhere. But certainly ERZ, TRZ are struggling somewhere down the lines, and we all know that as well. And they really need to win at least one chicken dinner, try to get themselves on the board, and then things might be turning in their favor.
Now, this looks like, a lot of teams have started closing in on the Pachinki area. So we've seen ERZ, TRZ getting chickens in Pachinki. In fact, the first chicken that they got in the group stages was in Pachinki itself. ALK9's Captain and Merciless, they're in different spots, not really having the best position to provide cover fire to each other. If Merciless position is somehow compromised, I think ERZ, TRZ might want to capitalize and get a few knocks here and there. But beautiful, beautiful 2 taps coming out from Thunder, taking down Brian and just bursting him out. Look at his vest and his helmet purely damaged.
Yeah, Ryan is certainly not having the time of his life. Getting knocked out twice early on is certainly going to be, just going to be a slapper for him. But now, of course, I really want things to pan out for Blood Legions as well in their favor. But one of the teams that I really want to see take chicken dinner are, of course, going to be ERZ, TRZ, and even Inertia, because they still haven't really managed to, secure that chicken dinner in their hands. And they certainly, down the line, also themselves are kind of desperate to manage to get that chicken dinner in their hands. So of course they are going to be trying their best to try as safe as possible, and even try to contest those survival points. But now overall, taking a look at the zone shift, seems like all the teams inside Pachinki are going to be having a hard time rotating inside.
Yeah, they certainly are. But right now, AGT9, they're in a bit of a pickle already. One of their players, one of their players already falling out, and XP Blood Legion, they've held on to that spot in such a good manner. And now, all right, so Dominic is applying that extra bit of a pressure, and AGT9, all they can do right now is just retreat.
Of course, retreating is definitely going to be the more fashionable way over here, because especially you don't want to go up against Blood Legion this early on, but certainly seems like A1 1952 are going to be in a massive world of trouble as they've already lost a player like Tufik. So certainly the rest of the team needs to play a little bit safe as we take a look at Agent just barraging his nades, trying to confirm that kill on the Tufik, but is that nade going to be able to do that though? Certainly seems like that's not going to be happening anytime soon. Just take a look at the smokes coming in just to buy a little bit of time for the res as well. And certainly seems like Tufik is barely going to be making it, but no, the nade is going to be closing it out for him. And that's going to be Tufik out of the game as well, but now one shot barely surviving with a sliver of HP. And how long is he going to be able to survive that? Seems like one shot is also going to be retreating. The entire A1 squad is just retreating.
Yeah, that they are. But right now, Wolves, they've got nothing to lose, and they're wounded, they're injured. They want some more for themselves. They want that blood. But Blood Legion's Gyro, he's taking a dig at the players of SLX Ironic. Now Demon, he's trying to fight to survive as 2-3 squads just kind of surround him, and he's got to watch out on all different angles. But Gyro, he certainly seems like he does not really want to stop, as Arsis takes a dig at one shot from A1 1952, and the kill has not been confirmed yet. But look at Newt from INES. I mean, he's kind of in the dark about the positioning of Witcher's taken quite a beating. Will have to heal himself up and get in the fight.
Indeed, but now there are just so many bullets, being fired all over the place, and certainly XCV is one of the really good players. Going to be Witcher. Seems like he's going to be taking an early exit as well. As we take a look at Demon, also simultaneously getting capitalized from Newty, and beautiful shots coming from Newty there, completely eliminating out the existence of XCVS, and certainly the squad that really wanted to contest, and they are somewhere on the top lines as well, on the 9th position. Certainly going to be having a really hard time as well. Now taking a look at INES, seems like things are not going to be panning out in this situation as they are also getting knocked down. But now the fight between ERZ, TRZ and ALK9 seems like ERZ, TRZ are also struggling a little bit somewhere down the line. but INES are also in the same page as they have also lost on one of their players.
Yeah, they certainly have. But AGT9, I mean, in a whole world of trouble, INES Salu trying to provide that cover fire for his teammates until and unless they get back up on their feet. As Gashor has that flank angle, they are both pushing it together. All the players of AGT9 now, they're in such a trouble because they're so low on their HPs. As one of their players falls down, it's Aban who's the last player surviving. Can he survive for quite some time? No is going to be the answer as AGT9 take an early exit, and it's the boys from Inertia have already racked up 7 kills for themselves.
Beautiful plays coming from Inertia there, but also in the process, one member was knocked out, and that was going to be Clutch. But the res coming in from Newty, of course, the support player is going to be doing the res part. A beautiful play from coming in from support player as well. But now it certainly seems like ERZ, TRZ are back on their feet again. They are looking healthy and they are looking top notch. But now, how are they going to be able to contest their position inside the circle? Now, certainly they are getting spotted and shot at from all the directions, but how long are they going to be able to play safe that? But because they just have so many teams in nearby vicinity, nearby area surrounding, and certainly taking a look at that, Rayan is definitely going to be popping some heads onto ERZ TRZ as we take a look. It seems like Eccentric Infinity are in a massive water trouble. It's only down to Thunder and Shua. We all know that these two players are certainly the best player that Eccentric has to offer as well, but now it seems like Wolves are just not going to be having enough, and Wolves are just doing so much damage on the Eccentric Infinity, and certainly they are crumbling down on their knees as it's all down to Shua, sir, and finally he has been tackled down as well while he was trying to reposition himself.
So many teams falling down so quickly. This is still the 5th circle, just closing in as Blood Legion have taken a very good spot up top. And well, this is a fight that's happening onto which side of Pmco. So we got to see as to which team really comes out on top over here. But right now, ERZ, TRZ, they've got their 3 players alive. They're engaging against IPG4. Elsewhere, even Blood Legion are applying that extra bit of pressure. We do see those smokes coming in, clearly indicating that they might want to go in for a push. And they've got nothing to lose. I mean, they're still in the tippity top position. They still have gotten 5 kills, and they certainly are hungry for more.
Indeed, they are hungry for more. As we take a look, there's just so many fights happening. Now, A1 1952 also crumbling down on their knees, slowly and steadily. But now, take a look at ERZ, TRZ, Whitecat. Losing a player like Whitecat is suddenly going to be such a massive disappointment coming in for them. But just take a look at the relentless aggression coming in from Blood Legion. They are just going to be wiping existence. They're trying their best to take down Atomic as well, but certainly going to be spotting him down. But Blood Legion's losing out on a player like Gyro, but certainly the res will be coming in through as we take a look. Entire existence has been wiped out of ERZ TRZ by Blood Legions.
Yeah, and now the players will be back on any certain moment. Right now, Dominic reviving Gyro and Leo doing the vendors onto which Ryan. But at this moment, SLX Ironic can surely capitalize on this situation. But Wolves, they've got one of the members now, Jigsaw, already out of the equation as Caffeine, like we had anticipated, taking down Ryan and Leo. SLX Ironic capitalizing on that fight would want to get the better out of the boys from Blood Legion as they are now in a whole world of trouble. Caffeine making those solo rushes all by his lonesome. Can he succeed? Can he just wipe out the champions or the champions that are yet to be crowned? But Agent making that push onto it, so the player of Log 1 does not really manage to find anyone out over here as Log 1 somehow managed to survive.
Indeed, but certainly one team is doing really good this time. It's definitely going to be Wolves with those 6 points coming in. And of course, Wolves was just playing so better overall this time. But now, one team also struggling a little bit this time. It's going to be also Blood Legion because 2 players are knocked down and only 2 players are up. And certainly the res might be coming in through as they might not get contested by the other squads. But now, for example, focusing on the situation that is going on in front of us, seems like Log 1 are going to be barraging the nades a little bit through onto enemies. But certainly realizing that there is no little bit of threat left anymore. But there are still a little bit of teams in there in those nearby areas as they are trying their best to spot anyone down. And it's going to be Wolves.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be Wolves, but how are the other teams really trying to get a comeback over here? And Blood Legion has somehow managed to get all their players alive, and right now they've taken again another fall, but Ryan does retaliate in fashion. IPG4 Arc, they will also have to contest contest their way in, you know, because standing right in front of them are the boys from INES who are relentless, who did not really want to give up. They're getting kills here and there and have already managed to rack up 8, but it's Blood Legion who've managed to get 10 right now, with Gyro still falling down. I don't think there's any chance on earth that they can get that res back up, but Ryan still wants to go in, still wants to try over here. I love what they're doing. The 2-2 split coming out from the boys, certainly working out in their favor, but how are they going to get inside the circle?
Is that Nate going to be doing the job on Venom there? That's going to be interesting to see, but IPG4 certainly just going to be proning out. You know, they don't really want to play that aggressive. They're still just waiting it out for INES to make any kind of mistake, but certainly INES is going to be playing safe as possible because they certainly do want to get that chicken dinner in their hat. But now just take a look at Kazak's Mira. It's going to be taking a massive rotation over there, but is he going to get caught off guard? As we take a look at Blood Legion just getting completely demolished. Blood Legion certainly need to capitalize onto their position as well, and certainly the res might be coming in through as Blood Legion is only down to that one man standing. But how long is he going to be able to play safe, though? As we take a look, another elimination coming in through. It's going to be Avon Esports on the 8th position going down, and then Wolves is going to be following them back up, but certainly managed to secure those 6 massive points over there as well, just through kills. It's just an overall fantastic plays coming in from them, but certainly the res are coming in through. As we keep on talking, Venom going down for IPG4 ARC. INES is putting on some massive work.
Yeah, I mean, in the meanwhile, Blood Legion have gotten all their players back up. One of the players also falling down, but that is not really going to matter over here. INES still having that lower ground, still having the car for the cover that they have really built it up, and they need to blow it up right now, because otherwise the boys from Log 1 might just capitalize on this one, as KSX still having the players alive, so have a good chance in getting this winner chicken dinner. But right now I believe the players of Log 1 are finally, you know, are taking a few shots onto the boys of INES. Right in front of them we have KSX finally trying to take around. Meraz taking some shots to the other side, but was taken from his left as Wallach gets the knock. But now Ehsan still trying to put the lead into the hearts of his enemies, but right now he needs to get that revive as well.
Indeed, the revive is going to be coming through, but how long is he going to be safe for? But also Log 1 losing out on one of their members, as INES is just barraging the bullets through onto them. Sabik trying his best to keep his teammates safe as long as possible. Certainly the res will not be coming through because he is just out in the open, and Sabik is definitely going to be taking the smarter choice and the better choice to just take the movement inside the circle. But now certainly seems like KSX are in a massive world of trouble, as losing on players like Ehsan and Meraz is definitely going to be putting them in such a massive disadvantage, as Sanox is trying his best to keep his team alive and keep his team strong. But now just take a look at Blood Legion. They are back up on their feet with all of these players, Gyro, Ryan, and Dominic Bot, certainly showing that aggressing onto Sanox. How long is this man going to be able to hold off? This is a 1v3 situation, and Gyro certainly seems like he's not scared of anyone. Gyro taking a little bit of damage from that nade, but certainly going to be healing himself back up. But now Sanox trying his best to keep himself alive, but certainly is getting eliminated by Blood Legions.
The final duel that we can see, ladies and gentlemen, is between INES and Blood Legion. It is going to be really tricky as to how they approach it out. And well, Log 1's Rolex being the last player surviving does take down Ryan in the process, playing as a spoil spot. But Blood Legion, they need to do something about it. They need to get a few kills here and there, as you know, Clutch is just raining down those bullets onto his hearts. But right now, Dominic getting that knock onto which Skyor will certainly delay things for INES, as for Blood Legion, they will have to be careful for the backlines, and no, that's not going to be necessary anymore. Dominic with that beautiful nade again, Gajor getting eliminated. Now it's all upon Salu to do anything and everything possible to try and get that chicken dinner for his team, but that's not going to happen, because it is Blood Legion yet again with those massive 18 kills chicken dinner that they have amassed for themselves. I mean, whatever the condition may be, Blood Legion somehow
33 points!
Figure themselves out. Yeah,
18
points.
kills and 33 points. Blood Legion just showing an absolute decimation again. I mean, it's really not needed for them.
I mean, it is. I mean, this certainly has, you know, kind of confirmed that, you know, they are going to be the champions. Nobody, despite how many points you get, are going to be in close contention to where they are. But let's take a look at the MVP of this particular match, and that has to be Gyro with those 7 kills, 959. Absolutely ridiculous damage. You know, what Blood Legion just did was completely ludicrous, and that is how the champions play, and that is what they have shown.
I mean, indeed, we did see Ryan go down twice in those early phases, and this is where things kind of started looking stumbly for them. But later on, Ryan actually capitalized and started knowing that, oh, okay, if I'm peeking so aggressively, it's of course going to be affecting my team as well. So then Ryan actually started playing a little bit safe and strategically. But then we did see Gyro just showing an absolute seamless aggression and fearless aggression in those late game circles.
I mean, the best part about this particular team is how they use their smokes, right?
Yeah.
And you know, if we take a look at the top players, you know, every single player of Blood Legion might just be there. Okay, so Leo didn't miss out, but it's okay, considering the other players. I mean, he was in the back lines, he was trying to provide as much support as he could. But Agent also having quite a decent kill for teamwork, but that's not gonna matter.
I mean, I did point it out, right, that Wolves is actually playing really good this time in that game, but certainly it's not really going to be mattering because they did get eliminated on the 6th position, and this is like quite far behind. But certainly now, taking a look at Gyro with those 7 kills and massive number of 959 damage. But just take a look at Dominic Bot's damage over here, 1,011, crossing that 1,000 mark is just an absolute beauty.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we know Blood Legion to be doing. They've done this in the past, and they're doing that today as well. But you know, as things go, you know, in terms of the match summary, in terms of the numbers that we have right in front of our screen, there you can see Arceus getting that longest distance. But yeah, the circle was pretty interesting. The circle was pretty new, considering that these teams have played this kind of circle in the past. But it was very imperative for them to know those positions, because those hills, they're really crucial.
I mean, at this point, it's literally like Blood Legion is just bullying all the other teams that are down below, and they're just on the hilltop looking down below, and they're just laughing at each and every single one. It's like they're looking at each and every single one trying to climb, but they're just like taking a look at them and laughing. But overall, now, I mean, of course, in those upcoming matches, I really feel like Blood Legion should give other teams a chance to win as well.
I mean, they should. Right now, I mean, they just want to you know, show their domination.
Yeah, they just want to show off.
They are. Every single time, in every single fight, you know, few of the players really fell down, but that did not deter them from you know, going in for the revives, getting their teammates back up. So as we move along further, I really want to see, you know, how things go on in terms of you know, Blood Legion really playing it out in the next few matches. But match rankings being shown over here, we can see 33 points for these lads, and Ines sitting at the 2nd spot. Quite a promising performance from them as well.
I mean, we did see A1 1952 in those late game stages as well, but certainly seems like there was just too many teams that were alive in those late game phases, and we all know how absolute claustrophobic it is in those late game situations. So of course they did get eliminated on those somewhere 11 to 12 spots. But overall now, KSX also manages to secure themselves a really good position over there, getting those 12 points, and of course those 8 placement points as well. That's certainly going to be helping them a little bit on those leaderboards, because Gods Reborn are certainly stumbling down.
But you know, the woes continue for XCBS, LK9. I mean, AGT9 and the SLX Gods Reborn. There was
Eccentric as well.
Yeah, there was no reason why they had to make such a push over there in those early game phases against IPGX, and they were punished. Yeah. And right now, let's take a look at the open moments and see all these moments come into life yet again. And we did see some early engagements, and this time Erangel was completely filled with action. There was no single moment where teams were not really fighting or not really trying to, you know, take it to the final circles. And as a result of which, you know, this kind of favored how Blood Legion loves to play, and that is going really aggressive.
I mean, indeed. And those early engagements, as we saw, all those players were actually trying their best to, you know, contest that vehicle early off, but then certainly they just got caught off guard from those nearby compounds. But then later on, we are just taking a look at Lock 1, also doing so much work from those back lines, and certainly they are showing themselves up on those top leaderboards as well. And this is what I'm talking about, right? If Lock 1 actually want to step their gameplay up, they needed to get those kills as well.
Yeah, I mean, they 100% have to, but Right now, I think the first position has been confirmed. It has been cemented. We know who's going to win this one. Second, I mean, considering how INEC has been playing, how they've been racking up those points, they also might confirm one of their slots. But it's still the third position that we are looking out for. Who is that going to be? Considering, of course, we want to sort of through that one out. And there you can see the damage graph over here, which is pretty much mental. Blood Legion getting 18 kills, 3,000 damage. INE is not really far behind.
Yeah, indeed, they're not really far behind, but one thing I just cannot take my eyes off is from the Blood Legion damage. 3,172 damage. That's a massive number right there. I mean, overall, just completely decimated the lobby in those end circles. They were just pushing everybody. If they saw one member getting knocked out from one team, they were like, okay, guys, we are going to be pushing this. It's like they just don't even care. It's like they throw nades on the enemy and even smokes on the enemy. So the vision is completely blocked while they're pushing. So, of course, they are going to be buying a little bit of time for them. And when they completely, just expose themselves and try to get a little bit of info on the Blood Legions, and Blood Legions are just in their faces.
Yeah, I mean, they do utilize the smokes to perfection, but right now, this, perfect use of utilities has put them on the top spot as we take a look at the overall rankings, and there you can see 275 points. So there's no chance on earth that anyone can, stop them from entering into the PAPL. I mean, pure absolute gory domination coming out from the boys of Blood Legion, but Gods Reborn and KSX, now they're evened up in terms of points. KSX has made such a beautiful comeback. It's a tie. It's just the kill difference that they have, so that is really mattering. But as we move along further, I mean, log 1, they are also in the race now. I mean, still, the third spot can be anybody's, and I think the fourth game of Erangel might just decide who is going to walk off with that.
I mean, yeah, certainly it's going to be deciding that as well. But one thing I really want to see is Blood Legions actually getting that 300+ mark on the board in the end of the day. That would be actually, yeah, that would be so iconic though.
I think after this match, they kind of knew that they have sort of gotten that first position secured for themselves. So right now, ladies and gentlemen, let's just head out for a short little break because we need a breather from what we just saw. We'll be coming right back with the action coming in from Santon. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the final day of the regional finals of the PUBG Mobile Club Open Spring Split 2021. The Bangladesh region, of course, sponsored to you by Oppo Reno 5. As we head along to Sandhawk, we did see Blood Legion firing on all cylinders with the way their players have been performing today. And now the pressure is sort of on the teams like God Reborn. Then we've got KS Axe, who have made a really consistent who've shown a rather consistent performance, and even Log 1 is in the race. So from all these three teams, what do you expect? Can someone get a chicken in this one?
Well, I mean, the thing is, one team that I'd really want to take want a team to get a chicken dinner is definitely going to be INES. Okay. Because they still need to open up their account in those chicken dinner phases. And certainly, if you are a team that is going to be on the second number in the overall leaderboards, you need to have at least one chicken dinner, you know, just to put it out there. But I mean, of course, yeah, that literally shows that they're also doing good in those placement points and survival points. And at the same time, kills are also coming in.
I mean, not necessarily, to be honest, because at the end of the day, it's all about how many points you're racking up. Of course, you do not have that glory to say that you do not you kind of lose out on those bragging rights that you've not gotten a chicken. But apart from that, I mean, as long as you've racked up the points for yourself, you're good to go with. But taking a look at the trajectory over here, kind of dissecting the map almost into two halves. But what we're really interested is where the circle is gonna go, because yesterday we did see, you know, those circles kind of going towards, you know, the western side, sometimes, you know, going towards the southern side. So it's going to be really critical. I mean, we've seen those paradise circles, and this is disastrous. Yeah, this changes everything. I mean, A1952, all they have to do is try to take that stop spot. That's it.
And even Max haven't joined this time.
I mean, it's understandable. I can my sympathies with them, but
the thing is, like, it's more kind of like the practice. You know, later on you can like get to play. You can like use those new strategies that you're building up last second, just to you know, test it out if they're working. And even, you know, it's just overall shows that you actually care about those you know, those upcoming events as well, that you really want to contest and win. But overall, Wolves also are down to only 3 members for themselves, which is definitely going to be a little bit disappointing. But overall, of course, the top team, that is definitely going to be Blood Legions, INES, and then later on KSX as well. But this time, it certainly seems like ALX K9 and as well Gods Reborn are going to be having a little bit of modern warfare between them this time.
Yes, and that's happening in Sami. We've seen this fight in the past. And you know, that time the stakes were not that high, but God's Reborn cannot afford to lose this one out. They didn't. They cannot afford to lose the third position that they have for themselves. And right now, they've just got those extra 2 kills against you know, the likes of KSX, but that's just about it. Now, if they get some casualties over here, it's going to make things so difficult as they have to travel a long way. So the only wise decision would be to just back off. But look at Long One's Sudeep just entering right in the face of Blood Legion and Dominic. He's dead. He's wiped out.
Yeah, unfortunate turn of events for Blood Legions there, especially losing out on a player like Dominic is going to be such a massive disappointment coming in from them as well. But one thing that was going on between SLX GR and ALK9 is that SLX Gods Reborn certainly have made the call to actually stick inside one compound, which sometimes can actually favor you as well. But if the utilities are point from the enemy team, which is going to be ALK9, then that might be creating a little bit of spacing for them and even a little bit of time for them to actually push inside. So, I mean, some a really but you know, can be a really good spot as well. But you know, overall, it really depends on the team certainly where you can actually capitalize. Really easily. Especially grouping up means you are also stopping your loot phases and your loot circulation as well. So certainly, I really feel like grouping up is a little bit of questionable choice coming in from these teams. But overall, the time is just going to be telling us how things are going to be panning out. And each and every single one is just staring at each other. And the only one person that is going to be looting, it's going to be Captain. Yeah, of course, a beautiful decision coming in from this man. And overall, it's like Captain is just overall... I mean, right now, it's literally just like those waiting phases, you know?
Yeah.
No one really wants to give their position away. But overall, Captain is still looting in those backlines.
I mean, he rather than looting, I think he's kind of more concerned on trying to block off the rotation of God's Reborn over there.
Yeah,
because they're kind of trying to surround them, you know, engulf them like an amoeba. So one mistake led to other. You can see their nerves racking over here because now God's Reborn are just in that one small compound. Now here comes that push. Tesla along with the team. Just in that one small compound. Now here comes that push. Tesla along with his teammate Merciless. There's just enough loot to contest that. Do they have for it? Do they have enough loot to contest? Shotgun would get this go ramming inside that house. And they are playing that 2-1-1 split. You can see the players of God's Reborn rather making a move over it. It feels like a battle of chess, you know. They're trying to position and reposition their troops every single time. And there you go, the fight finally being broken over here and making happening right. But there you go, we get another fight right in front of us. That's AGT9 going after Team Wolves.
Indeed, yeah, of course, Wolves losing out on a player like Jigsaw is certainly going to be such a massive disappointment coming in, and even Asian is going to be following it up. And it certainly seems like AGT9 over here definitely has that heavy weight lifting going on over here. But now, certainly seems like the fight is going to be breaking it through between God's Reborn and ALK9. And ALK9 already losing on a player like Danger. And then Execute is going to be falling, Merciless is going to be following it up. And of course, that's going to be a really early elimination coming in onto ALK9.
I mean, yeah, finally they have managed to survive this onslaught, right? And well, somewhere down the line, you know, ALK9, they needed to understand that they had nothing to lose over there. They could have just waited. They could
have used utilities, you know.
You know, in map of Sanhok, I'm not going to blame the players if they do not, if they aren't using utilities, because you don't get enough. I mean, that's the harsh reality of this map. But now IPG4 and IPGX both in contention for the Shrine area. Everyone taking their pitches, positioning the players. But look at Cynix's position. He's gone on the lower ground. And if he manages to find one of the players from the back lines, then this might just give that direct route for the players of IPGX to get the squad wipe. But there you can see Marshall already revealing his position. Dadlock wary of where he is as B1 is trying to again take the upper area, just proned out. The nade coming out. Is that a nade or a smoke? That's a nade, definitely. And B1 has done a pretty decent job at dodging it.
Indeed, Deadlove barely surviving on that little bit of rage going in for himself, and B1 going to be knocking out Stranger. A beautiful knock coming from B1 there, capitalizing on your situation. Also, Deadlove going down in the process as well. Now it's all down to Venom. How long is this man going to be surviving? Venom barely staying alive as well. He is going to capitalize from the flank angles. Beautiful flank coming in from Cynics there, and just overall completely capitalize on the entire position of IPG4 Arc. Now Heaven is going to be the last man alive, and finally Heaven doesn't really want to challenge the fight directly. Indeed, he just wants to wait it out, make either one of the players to make a little bit of, rookie mistake, and then just capitalize onto them. It seems like it's going to be Cynics going to be following it up, but no! Heaven reveals his position. A really potato situation coming in from Cynics there.
Yeah, I mean, with that being said, IPG4 Arc getting eliminated over here. And these shrine fights are really essential. Of course, losing out on Mafus, that's going to hurt them. But these 4 kills are certainly going to make them happy. Because if you have that higher ground, if you have that control over this area, if you've got the players to spread out, you are good to go for the remainder of the fights.
Indeed, of course, you are good to go. But, I mean, we had a talk earlier, Fixes, like over on these teams going to be trying to contest each other's drop location, dropping onto them. And certainly this time it seems like it is happening. They are trying to tackle each other down in those early game phases. And we did see already 3 fights happening in those early game phases. One of them was Wolves, then the other one was ALK9, and now over here, IPG4 Arc. So many teams getting eliminated off in those early phases.
See, for this, the last fight against IPG4 Arc, so that was a fight for a better spot. But the previous fights was, of course, the final day of the PMCOs. And in every regional finals or whatever it may be, talk about GC, talk about Pro League, talk about World League, we have seen this happen. The last final days, teams that do not really stand a good chance at making it to the next phase, certainly, tend to drop in here and there and, try to get those extra bit of kills. The moment you have nothing to lose, like we've been talking about this a lot. The moment you have nothing to lose, you do not feel that pressure to perform, and you can do whatever on earth you want. You kind of become untamed. You kind of become the beast that you are. And whenever you're entering into these regional finals, you are still in the contention for the top spot. You still have that pressure. I mean, one bad game and you might lose it out. And I can totally feel the players of God's Reborn right now. I mean, after that very disappointing performance in the first game, they need to make sure that they make something happen from Sandhawk. And when they just drop in and there's a squad nearby, and it makes things a lot tricky.
Indeed, I'm right now currently imagining a thing like, imagine if ERZ, TRZ, or Eccentric Infinity managed to clutch their spot in those top 3 and then just completely turn the events.
I don't think that's going to happen, because the points, the difference is just too much. I mean, if we do the maths over here, we've got 3 games remaining, including this one, of course.
And they will have to, of course, get like
chicken
30
in every single game. And considering their run, I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, it's like if they get 2 chicken dinners with...
It's an ideal situation, to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's like if they get 2 chicken dinners with 25 plus points, then there is a chance. There is a chance. Certainly for ERZ, TRZ.
I mean, there is, but the chances are very slim. I would still, want teams like KS Axe, even Log 1. I could still say that they might qualify, but for ERZ, TRZ, if they kind of get a chicken dinner in this particular match and the following one as well, then you never know. Then you never know. It's going to go down to the final map, and the pressure is going to be, massive, really.
But certainly, right now, taking a look at the map that we saw before, there are so many late game rotations coming in. Of course, God's Reborn, INES, and then 2 more teams are just making those late rotations outside the circle as well. But are they going to get caught off guard, though? I mean, of course, the zone is literally just so unfortunate that it only covers like 50% of the land, and certainly zone is, if the land is certainly going to be that small, then you will have to make those early game rotations to actually get the best out of the zone as well. But certainly the late game rotations is kind of an interesting choice as well, and it's certainly going to be compelling to see how they're going to be turning things out in their favor. But now one thing we really are looking over here is that Wolves, I mean, Arce is barely surviving, in those late game situations as well, but certainly it's like what exactly is happening over here is certainly going to be interesting, because Arceus over here.
Yeah.
Last man standing for Wolves, and Wolves is already done anyways. So what this man is going to be trying to do, let me tell you, he's going to be that little scrawny person who is just going to be making things harder for all the other teams.
You know, Team Wolves have traveled so far. I mean, almost 1,500 meters.
Yeah.
And it's the second zone, still doable. But by the looks of it, I think they want to maybe force out that signature heel strat that we have seen in Sandhawk in the past. But coming back A1 1952, I really felt that they could have capitalized on their positioning. They could have contested for the hilltop. And staying at Camp Alpha, I do not really know. This could have been their match, to be honest. This could have been the game that A1 1952 have been so longing for, another chicken dinner in their bag. They certainly could have done that, but rather prioritizing playing it safe than taking those risks. And like the saying goes, fortune favors the brave, right? So they've made a safe approach. They need to take that hill control, because if they do not, then I guess we might get to see the other teams coming out on top, getting the chicken in this one.
Certainly. I mean, it would definitely be a surprise if like a team literally just catches off guard and just comes out on top out of nowhere. But I mean, certainly, of course, if those teams are going to be the one to contest the chicken dinner, they will probably be in those bottom lands as well, and they won't really be having that much of a big chance to contest the game overall. But certainly, if it's a team like TRZ, then that would be making things so close. But then now, overall, taking a look at SLX Ironic position as well, there is a team right in front of them, and it's going to be Eccentric Infinity, which is certainly not really having a good time, and they are certainly not really having the days of their life as well. So it might be a little bit easy for them to actually contest them down as well. But now over here, KSX, of course, one of the teams that is one of the most consistent team that the entire Bangladesh region has to offer behind Logwin.
Right now, XCVS, Witcher. I do not know if he actually knows that there's someone. He should be anticipating.
Someone. There's literally a full squad over there just proning around, not making a single sound.
They're just making, the players of XCVS to come out right and go open. But here we can see the boys from SLX Ironic going after the boys of Eccentric Infinity. Thunder in a whole world of trouble.
Oh my God.
Beautiful TVS knock.
He just
right
got demolished.
Yeah.
Completely destroyed with that, but now taking a look at C1 as well, doing a little bit of damage from the back lines. Certainly had to be there for his team, but now Shiwas are also putting in so much work, managing to knock out 3 players in the process as well. Shiwas is just turning the situations in his favor. But certainly that nade might be able to finish that one off, but no, the finish is not going to be coming through. Shiwasar does realize that he has turned the situations a little bit in his favor as well. Taking a little bit from shots, a little bit from the backlines as well, but now there is another situation occurring in front of us. It's going to be between XCVS and KSX. Certainly KSX are only over there. Only 2 members of KSX are available over there against XCVS. And XCVS, of course, having that numbers advantage in those surrounding areas. It's certainly going to be interesting to see how things are going to be panning out for them as well. But now, taking a look at the fight that is actually happening in front of us as well. Now, SLX Ironic are barely surviving on that last man. And certainly his position has been contested, but a little bit, bad place nade coming in from Shiwasar. They're not really able to, put the nade where he wanted to. But certainly seems like the situations are a little bit calm just for a while now.
I mean, KSX, they had their players positioned in different compounds, and they did see the players of XCVS really come in, but not really, taking the fight in a proper manner, just rather sitting still. And XCVS, they were charging as a 4-man squad, so they certainly had the numbers advantage, and they managed to, just go off with it. But SLX Ironic taking a fall over there. We've seen IPG4 Arc going down in the previous fights. So we've seen ALK9 down. So considering the fact that 3 teams are already out and one of the teams is not playing, so the numbers are of course reducing, giving enough time and space for the players to kind of breathe inside the game.
This zone shift is actually really good this time, it is actually covering the most of the land inside the initial zone. But certainly this time, taking a look at Eccentric, they did manage to completely wipe out the existence over there of Ironic. But now this, the rotation is certainly going to be interesting to see, because Marshall certainly has heard them taking that fight as well, and he is going to be contesting that area. Does have his eyes onto it, but now just take a look at the Gods Reborn overall rotation coming in as well. From the complete left side, it's going to be Camp Alpha side. And there are just so many teams in the nearby vicinity. It's going to be KSX and AVO 1952 and even IPGX right in the, over there. And it seems like, yep, the fight is going to be breaking down between AVO 1952. They just have such a massive high ground advantage over here. But Tofik taking a little bit of shots in the process as well from the members of IPGX. But, yeah, certainly it seems like it's just going to be a little bit of stare down for a while because they certainly do not want to get eliminated early off.
Yeah, that they certainly do not want to be, but KSX, I mean, I'm kind of feeling bad for these lads. They've come in so far. They've, you know, after that first disappointing day performance, they have been consistent throughout. They've been honest and with their grind, and not just in this tournament, even in the previous tournaments that they have played in. And this is not the first time they're playing in the PMCO, so you would expect, you know, this team to finally make it to the PMPL. But if they do not, you know, play out, if they do not put their hearts in, if they do not survive longer, then things are going to be completely going down. But by the looks of it, AGT9 are not really paying attention as onto the players of KSX. And this is again another fallacy that I've really spotted in this team, because you know, you're just hiding in your compounds, you're not getting any information, you're not really knowing which team is where. Had the players of KSX got that extra vision over here, they could have easily taken down 1 or 2 players of AGT9 over here from the backlines.
Indeed, of course, the backline is the main important factor in each and every single fight. And each and every single team also needs to have those backlines secured for themselves as well. As we all know, we should always have our eyes on the backlines as well. As we take a look at Marshall, also falling down himself somewhere, down a little bit. But certainly, now the push is coming through from Gods Reborn onto KSX. Does realize that there might be someone nearby, but... no, it doesn't really seem like it. They are not really pushing into them, of course. I mean, KSX are just so quiet and just holding off those corners. But are they going to be striking out SLX Gods Reborn, though, if they find a real good opportunity?
I mean, right now, what they should have done is stick as a 2-man squad. Oh, yes, Gods Reborn finally going in. And they are patching themselves up. Seems like
they have no clue.
They still have no clue. And you know, this is where KSX, had they been together, they could have you know, formed a very good crossfire angle. You know, kind of try to deny entry of the players of Gods Reborn. And this is the fight that they should have really taken. And if they can wipe out Gods Reborn from over here, then it's done. You know, half of their work is done. They cannot make sure that they need to make sure that Gods Reborn do not walk off with a big number of kills.
Indeed, but now in the process, XCBS Yuri going down, but now another knockout coming in. It's going to be on to INES, Newty, and certainly it's going to be the Rolex going to be putting in things for Newty over there for INES. But now, how is Gajor going to be turning situation out in his favor? This is going to be interesting to see. Clutch, of course, one of the good mans to show up for INES as well, but certainly the Reds might be coming in through over there from Gajor, but... is he going to be safe for a long time? Now, certainly seems like Newty is going to be back up on his feet, but Newty certainly needs to back off and heal himself. Yep, exactly. This is what I was talking about. This was going to be happening anytime soon, but now it's all down to Gajara and Clutch. Are they going to be able to clutch the situation? It's going to be interesting to see because Logwood certainly has the man advantage, but now Salu from the back lines is the hero player.
Yeah, he certainly is. I mean, that's his role for his squad, and he's doing a pretty good job at that. He's ensuring that none of the players of Log 1, you know, do take that extra higher peak. And there you can see all those nades going out from Gajor's side, who has got that flank angle, you know. Now Salu Whitey, he needs to make an entry inside the circle, and this is where the revivals have come in. The players have healed up, giving him enough room and space to do so. But look at Log 1's Kraken. He's right in the center of things. A1 1952 have managed to take the top position, the position that they so long wanted. But look at Gods Reborn and KSX.
The zone
and
shift.
Look at the zone shift. It's completely, you know, changed, completely going to the northern side. And this is where ARZ, TRZ maybe might be able to get that chicken run, which they have been longing for so long.
Indeed, of course. Now, all these teams, when they are trying to make the rotation into a circle, they might get caught off guard in those open grounds, and there is not really that much cover left in those initial late game zones as well. But now, Jerry over here, of course, one of the lethal men that XCBS has to offer, but this time, is he certainly going to be able to wake up, though? He needs to wake up as we take a look at Co-op back in the open, taking a little bit of fire from Jerry, but certainly is going to be safe as the other members from Gods Reborn are going to be dishing out a lot of damage onto Jerry as well. His HP is going down slowly and slowly, and Jerry finally getting knocked out. But his teammates certainly don't really seem to care because they really need to make the rotation inside the circle. And of course, as early you is going to make it, it's going to be that better. Now Taban, just take a look at this man just swimming inside. And of course, no one is going to be knowing his position as long as he decides to give a little bit of sound cues. But now it certainly seems like the fight between INES and Lock1 is going to be continuing, and Clutch going to be clutching it out against that fight over there. But now certainly making his way back onto Samik, doesn't want to finish that kill over there. And certainly the finish will be coming through anytime soon. And he's just going to be, he thought that he's actually behind the tree. But over there, yep, exactly. The finish is coming in through. Clutch taking a little bit of damage while he was trying his best to finish as well. But now INES, certainly if they are going to be keeping on moving in the same direction, they are going to be meeting Blood Legion, and that fight might be an iconic fight to witness.
Yeah, that certainly will be. But looking at White Cat, beautiful nade coming out from the slot, taking down Gyro over here, and they know who they are up against right now. They need to be extra careful. They need to have all their men stationed over here to deal with the wrath of Blood Legion, and they're doing a pretty good job at that, to be honest.
Indeed, they're doing a fantastic job now. TRZ certainly is thriving in these situations because they do have that zone in their favor as well. Now this is when TRZ is going to be showing off their wrists, and how are they going to be playing over here now? Certainly they are just holding those grounds, holding those late grounds. And just take a look at Ryan as well. Now seems like Rare does realize onto his position, going to be throwing a little bit of nade, certainly not going to be able to connect onto him. Ryan just going to be using that first aid, trying his best to survive out the zone as well. But now how long is he going to be able to use those? How long is he going to be lasting outside the zone? This is going to be interesting to see, as Ryan is going to be popping another one, and Rare has the grenade in his hands. Certainly not able to catch out Ryan in those open fields as well. But now the push is coming through from Rare as well, but certainly does realize that going outside the zone might be a little bit stupidity to play coming in, but certainly Ryan was just down to such low HP that so one bullet was just enough to take him down as well. But now Rare going to be patching himself back up as we keep on taking a look at Blood Legions getting eliminated. Now Lock1, TRZ, certainly they are looking in really good phases as well, but now overall situation in the entire game, there are still 5 teams live and 12 people alive as well. How are things going to be going in favor? Of course, Avon 1952, one of the crucial teams to watch out for.
I mean, right now, what Red did was a pretty bold move, and I respect it, considering he needed to make sure that he got Ryan out of the equation, because we know how deadly that player can be if he survives from the backlines. And White Cat taking quite some heavy damage. His helmet completely popping off over there, but he still, survives to live for a few more moments over here, as Tawfiq will get Kraken out of the equation, as nobody is really inside the circle. But this might be a chicken going in for the boys from A1 1952. 8 kills already, and making their way inside the circle. This is what they wanted. This might just be the game where they make that comeback for themselves.
I mean, indeed, Chico is going to be one of those small persons who's going to be just annoying them each and every single time from the backlines as well. But now Chico does have that little bit of cover from the rock going in for himself. But just take a look at the overall scenario perspective. Now, how are things turning it out? Of course, Magneto going to be going down in the open ground as well. And it's going to be Rare to take him down as well. But now the res might be coming through from one of the members from Avon as well. But now Tufik also taking so much damage in the process. Now, TRZ seem like they are just going to be putting in so much work onto Avon members over there, Avon, and seems like SLX GR Yashiro certainly going down. He tried his best to out-survive the zone as well, but now just take a look at so much damage happening, so much chaos happening in those late game situations. Rare trying his best to knock down anyone from his nades. Gonna be checking those nades aside now. Just take a look at Chico as well, taking a little bit of zone damage, and the zone is gonna be dishing out so much damage onto this man. Is gonna be spotting the players from Avon 1952 in the process as well. Gonna be medkitting himself behind the zone, and certainly is waiting in those backlines to contest anytime soon. Whenever he finds his opportunity to strike, he is gonna be striking onto players of 1952. He needs to capitalize those kills for himself, and now the entire squad of Avon is just right in front of his eyes, and it's only down when he's going to be striking it in. And now Chico seems like he will be going down the zone as well, and it's going to be Avon 1952 taking the chicken dinner in their hands.
Yes, wow, I mean, that's phenomenal coming out from these players. You've got 8, 12 kills, chicken dinner going on for the boys of A1. And right from the very moment, if you see that circle going west, whichever team is present over there, I mean, you can call the shots. But TRZ, not really shallow this one, this time around. They've gotten that second spot in terms of, I think, overall standing, because they've engaged in quite some battles over there. Overall coming third, but long one. Again, maintaining that consistent run, maintaining that they know how to survive. So things are going to get even more tricky. But right now, God's Reborn and KS Axe, that early exit, how much has it hampered them? But let's take a look at the MVP over here.
Yep.
Who's that one player gonna be? That's gonna be
Magneto.
Magneto. Of course, 5 kills for himself.
Indeed, Magneto showing an absolute phenomenal performance in those late game situations. Of course, going to be able to secure 636 damage and even 161 only healing done. Beautiful plays coming from this man as well. But now overall situation for God's Reborn might be looking a little bit wavy over there, because just the overall performance they are showing even in those first game and second games, I really feel like they might just lose their position.
You know, anything can possibly happen, but before that, let's take a look at the top players. And this Sanhok game was really interesting, considering the fact as to how you know, all these teams did play. So yeah, Magneto, Topic, B1 and 1v4 managing to get those kills respectively for the team. B1, look at his damage and his kill numbers. I mean, he's been doing that.
And it might be so tough for them, because they will have to just keep on winning the games back to back. It's certainly then also they won't really be able to make it on the top 3, because it's just looking so, like, you know, tough for them overall. But now taking a look at their points as well, 94 points and total kills of 56, and average damage also a little bit, you know, outstanding there coming in from them. But also a team like Ironic over there, they are also struggling down the line somewhere. But certainly if they manage to secure those 2 chicken dinners, then maybe things will be looking a little bit good. But then also they won't be able to make it in those top 3 phases. But now the real competition is between KSX, Log1, A1, and God's Reborn.
Well, yeah, you know, like we can take a look at the top 8 squads over here. So much teams are here in contention. We could just rule out ERCTRs. It's going to be really difficult for them. And HET9, in the third day, they were really good, but it's just that XCVS have completely blown it up in terms of how they performed after that amazing start. And you know, it's all those nerves rattling for all these players, and that's what has happened. And now if you take a look at all these teams, you know, all these teams are experienced over here. Inertia, we've seen a few of the players of God's Reborn, you know, play in the last PMPL from INES. We've got A1 1952, another beautiful team. Even KSX has been playing since the last PMCO. So in the end, as the storyline goes, all these teams that were supposed to have finally managed to, you know, control the pressure. But KSX, the last performance in Sanhok was certainly not acceptable. But the health's not gone under right now, because if they manage to get a chicken, or maybe a consistent game in this one, and somehow God's Reborn and A1 952 fall, so they might just be in the race back again.
Indeed, of course. I mean, what you're trying to say over here is that experience is, of course, going to be coming out on top. And certainly all these teams, yeah, of course, as you were talking about, Log1 also trying their best to actually contest on those top 3 situations over here. But certainly down the line, we all know Inertia might be struggling as well. If God's Reborn managed to secure a chicken dinner there, they might be thrown down on the 3rd position. And then even A1, imagine if A1 is on 3rd or 2nd spot with a lot of kills, then that might be certainly, you know, a really stumbling and sticky situation for them. And they will also need to, you know, a little bit pan things out in their favor as well. So this game might be a little bit, you know, changing turn for them as well. They need to perform really good in this game just to, you know, secure their spot on that 2nd position over there. I mean, of course, 1st position is pretty much impossible. Even if you manage to take chicken dinner, both of them, it's just going to be pretty much impossible. But certainly, yeah, the 2nd position, of course, is going to be the confirmation slot coming in for INES there, and they will need to perform a little bit better this time. But taking a look at the entire situation that is erupting, seems like SLX Ironic in a massive casualty early on this time, losing a player like Caffeine there in the process as well. But now it seems like Sixfly is going to get contested down the sides from Marshall as well. Marshall going to be aiming down over there, and seems like Satan69 is also following it up. And now it's going to be the rest coming in from Sixfly on to Satan there. But how long is that going to be the case over there? I mean, certainly, yeah, they are really safe, so they don't really have to worry about it. And Sketch is definitely there in the back lines to provide any kind of extra cover if IPGX decide to push. But seems like IPGX are going to be relentlessly aggressive, and they're just going to be making the push as well.
Yeah, they certainly are. And there you go, Sketch finding B1 in the far off fray and managing to secure that knock. But can the knock get confirmed though?
Yep.
Yes, it's Sixfly who will secure it. But right now, IPGX, well, they're kind of in the bottom order. They do not really have to worry much. They just have to, they have that freedom to do whatever on earth they want to right now. And the circle has started to close in. Any single moment we'll get to see that news zone popping out, have a rather even more clearer picture as to how the action is going to unfold. And but looks of it, it's kind of an even shift, a bit down towards the certain side though, but still nothing much really changing. Quite anticipated, quite a regular circle shrink that we did get to spot.
Certainly. But now, overall, of course, IPGX does have that little edge going up for themselves as well. I mean, yeah, they did lose a man in the process as well, but certainly having the high ground is definitely going to be giving them a little bit of edge in the process as well. But now it seems like the fight, it might be coming in through. It's between Mefus, YT, Marshall, and it's going to be against Satan 69 as well. Satan trying his best to survive as well as the bullets are just coming in through. The mags are being unloaded as well. Marshall is cooking his nade, but seems like Satan's nade is going to be the first one to reach, and of course going to be doing a lot of damage in the process as well. 57 damage dished out on Mefus there, but certainly just take a look at this flank coming in from Mefus. Satan going down while he tried his best to crawl inside the cover as well, but now even there are so many knocks happening on the both sides as well. Seems like Ironic are also going to be in a massive world of trouble as Marshall does realize that he is down to low HP. 6fly trying his best to heal, and of course the heal is going to be coming through. And XCBS seems like they are just going to be panning things out in their favor as well, but now getting back to this fight over here that is happening. 6fly 69 trying his best to contest him down as well. The aggression is going to be coming through. Which one is going to be coming out top? It's going to be changing the situation, of course. It's going to be Marshall to turn things out in his favor and completely wipe out the existence of Ironic.
Yeah, I mean, this is what SLX Ironic did not really want for them. Now, for all these teams, it's about the money. It's about what's on the line. We've seen that fair distribution of the price, and everyone is trying to get in enough points, enough kills, so that they can have a chance at the major or the bigger chunk in the prize pool. So we've seen it reduce down, but as much as they can get, it's fine. If they get that 6th, 7th, 8th spot, they can work with that. And of course, that certain compensation will, of course, help them, in bringing up, getting them better devices in the future, or a lot of other things,
Yeah.
So they've been grinding for quite some time. They, of course, deserve what they've earned, right? So now, moving on further, as we can see, one of the teams, that's SLX Ironic, taking an early exit over here. But all these teams, XCVS, well, we've already talked about this team. We've known how good their players are. Cherry individually was so subliminal. But apart from that, they could not really deal with the pressure. They got taken down in the 3rd and the 4th days. And as a result, they're no more in the race of things. But if you talk about teams, again, this is also one of the teams that had a chance but messed it up.
Indeed, certainly messing it up is definitely going to be a really crucial factor there. If you're going to be messing things up, that is certainly going to be making things so much more harder for your team. But now, seems like there are going to be some teams in those nearby phrases as well, but certainly doesn't really seem like they are going to get spotted now. Focusing on to a team like Gods Reborn, the positioning is, of course, going to be the main part for them. It seems like they have found that compound for themselves and certainly going to be positioning themselves inside it. But now, Eccentric trying their best as well to make those good rotations inside the circle as well, and they are trying their best, to keep themselves alive, barely hanging on the ridge as well, but certainly I really feel like things might just not be going in for them as well, even if they manage to secure those 2 chicken dinners.
Absolutely. But considering the curveball finally going on towards the western side, we've got the boys of AGT9 in a very promising position. The same can be said for INES. And Blood Legion not really having the kind of a start that they would have wanted for themselves, but it is what it is, right? Gyro and Dominic, the 2 players, the 2 reliable players that are still there in the competition, and they might just rack up a few more kills, and they have pretty much solidified their first spot. We do see the players of Team Max, in fact Ironclad, falling down. I think it was IPGX that dealt the wrath, that dealt the killing blow over there. Now they also have to rotate in, and this is where the aggression really is being so evident from this particular side. Now we've got AGT9 and Team INES exchanging a few shots at each other.
Indeed, the exchange of shot is going to be definitely the crucial fact as we take a look. Insane taking a heavy beating in the process as well. but certainly going to be healing himself back up. But it's going to be the INES in those nearby phases to go up against AGT9. But certainly we do know INS do have those hot shots going in as well. And seems like Blood Legion Dominic Bot is especially going to be spotting Shuo in a massive world of trouble, but certainly taking their cover right behind that ridge as well is going to be doing him so much advantage there. But certainly Shuo needs to heal himself back up. The smokes are coming in through just to make his way inside the compound, making sure he is as safe as possible. But now Dominic also getting a little bit of shot up in the process as well. Going to be popping those painkillers, just making sure his HP is being topped off. And, you know, of course, those bandages are going to be coming in through as well, just to secure his HP as well. But certainly his eyes will be on that compound, as he knows that there is a team over there, and he will be locking them down in his sights.
Yeah, he's certainly doing a very good job at that. But, you know, we see Dominic over here. So, well, they're just a two-man squad right now.
Yeah.
But elsewhere, we've got the players of Log 1 who know that they need to get a few more kills going in. But at the same time, you know, they cannot risk losing out on those numbers, losing out on those players. Things have started intensifying out so very much that, you know, it's going to come down. Even our nerves are rattling as to who is going to win this one out. Because this is a game that is kind of going to decide it all. Because in the final game of Erangel, the pressure is, you know, unimaginable. The pressure is just too much.
Certainly.
So you need to make sure that you do not put it to the last game. So you do not have to deal with that extra high octane pressure coming on towards you. So right now we see that lull in the lobby. Few teams exchanging shots here and there. The third airdrop coming in. MK14.
Wolves certainly having that spacious compound secured for themselves, and of course focusing on the drop as well. MQ14, of course, in those nearby phrases for Wolves as well. If they manage to secure this drop, that might be really, you know, just a cherry on top of the cake. But certainly, I mean, it is going to be a little bit difficult, you know, because it is out in the open, and certainly you do not really want to expose yourself. But as we keep on talking, it seems like Playzone is going to be capitalizing on one of the Max members. It's going to be Casper, and he's going to be taking him down. Now, Casper certainly did not respect the zone in the process well, and certainly tried to make those late-game rotations, and did get caught off guard from the zone, of course. But now, overall situations that are occurring, seems like Wolves are going to be taking a little bit of shots onto God's Reborn as well. The shots are being exchanged between both of them. But now, just take a look at the rotation coming in from XCVS and even KSX. Now, there is a high probability that the fight might get contested between these two teams. But for now, holding on to my word, seems like the fight is occurring between ALK9, and of course, ALK9 member is going down in front of INES as well. ALK9 certainly in a massive world of trouble, as INES are just looking completely healthy inside the fight as well. Danger trying his best to get an off angle onto the enemy team over there, but certainly is he going to be able to successfully do that, though? Yes, there is going to be one of the members in the compound and in the house as well, where Danger is. And Captain certainly throwing those nades, analyzing the situation that is in front of him, and certainly seems like Danger does know that there is one of the guys right in front of him, so he is going to be making those moves and trying to reposition himself as the fight keeps on proceeding.
Yeah, of course, and there you can see Merciless barely surviving with a sliver of HP. He needs to patch himself up. A medkit is certainly a good way to do that, but I believe he's a bit late to the party as he gets taken down. But Captain certainly holding himself up, having spotted down Clutch. That grenade was not really where it was meant to go. And it was just a panic throw, because he also knew that it's pretty much done over there. But now Danger and Captain surviving against a squad of INES, who is relentless, who needs to, you know, make that fight go in their favor, who needs those essential kill points secured for them to kind of cement the top two position that they have been holding on for quite some time. So right now Captain is in a bit of a kerfuffle over there. Two players pushing right on towards him. Danger is not able to provide that quintessential cover fire, as Kajor is inside his compound. So every man to fend for himself is the situation with the players of ALK9. Captain still doing so much with that AKM, and the kind of the building is really burning away. It's just standing on those furnitures. And well, there goes the shots, and there comes the knock from Salu YT as Danger, the last man surviving. I mean, he's got to make a run for his life, but at the same time, there is a chance that he can pull off some miracle over here. A 1v3 possibility maybe, but Danger Danger, he's just jumping around hither and thither as the players of INES, having spotted out his position, are going after him. Gajor really committing in for the push. He wants to, go to the rooftop over there, but can he make it in the right nick of time? That only time is going to tell.
Of course, indeed, but now Danger, of course, Danger is surrounding him as the time moves on, and certainly it seems like INES is going to be capitalizing on his position as well. They are making their way onto the terrace as well, but certainly seems like there is a little bit of issues going on over here, but seems like, yep, they are finally going to be taking him down in the process. Danger going down, and ALK9, of course, getting completely wiped out. But now taking a look at the kill feed as well, Jerry going to be hitting a really cracking shot with that Car 98 over there, and of course, the trade is going to be coming in through onto Witcher there. It certainly seems like SP Blood Legions are in a massive lot of trouble, as Gyro is going to be sticking the res onto Dominic.
I mean, right now the res is definitely gonna come up, but what I'm really scared about for Blood Legion is how are they gonna enter inside the circle with them being surrounded by all teams from every possible direction. They will have to take one more fight. They will have to wipe one more squad. But still, the champions or the champions yet to be crowned are doing fairly well. They're doing fairly well. They're getting a few knocks here and there. They're continuously applying that extra bit of pressure, and they do not really feel it, to be honest. But which team does feel it is, of course, going to be KSX. I mean, they also have to get inside the circle with the players of ERZ, TRC having their eyes out on them, and they also have to deal with the lads from Blood Legion.
Indeed, of course. But now, taking a look at the situation overall, KSX do seem like they are looking a little bit, stumbled across over there, because they certainly need to get the rotation inside, but there are just so many teams right in front of them. Of course, Gyro is going to be the one holding him off outside the circle as well, but the smokes might be going in through from Xenox just to make and buy a little bit of time for himself to make the rotation inside. But there are just so many fights happening, so many people are getting caught off guard in those open grounds as well. As we keep on talking, Fahim is going to go down to Sabik as well, but now Sabik finally realizing that he also needs to make it back inside the circle. It seems like his teammates have secured a little bit of slot for themselves inside the circle as well, but now they do have so many members going on in the nearby vicinity. As we keep on talking, Dominic also going down from Thunder. Eccentric seems like they are putting in work this time.
Yeah, they certainly are. But right now, taking a look at what's in front of our screens right now, we've got the boys from XCBS. They're trying to heal themselves. Fahim already losing out on his life. And INES, they are going ham after every single squad that they can spot. And, well, Gajor did manage to secure that kill onto its Atomic. So now, fights have, broken down every single way. And as the zone is starting to shrink in, teams are trying to make that rotation, being caught off guard. Mahfouz having spotted out Gentleman will be tapping onto his legs, but not really finding those shots. Yes, finally does manage to connect. But this is the moment where he needs to recalibrate his scope to the 6 times and then just go in with those taps. And he certainly has done that. But Log wants to pay. Will get a take onto its C-Wine as the circle slowly closing in. 12 teams still alive. 32 players doing well in the lobby. But the numbers are starting to dwindle down.
Of course, it is going to be happening as the zone's going to be shrinking down now. Taking a look at God's Reborn Koa there. Of course, is barely alive outside the circle as well. Taking so much damage in the process while the circle is just dissing out so much damage onto him. But certainly, he has none other choice left as well, as Mahfouz does have his sights locked onto him. But how long is he going to be able to survive outside the circle? That's going to be a massive question coming in the process as well. But certainly seems like Mahfouz is going to be unlocking his side and finally going to be deciding to focus on the nearby surroundings. As we keep on talking, there are so many fights erupting and so many knocks happening as well. Magneto taking a knock onto Demon there, and also Ehsan going down in the process as well from the zone. Unfortunate turn of events for Ehsan there. But now ERZ is certainly making things so much harder for each and every single team. As we keep on talking, God's Reborn taking an early exit this time.
Yeah, they certainly have managed to do so, but there you can see INES that they are trying to get the players back up online. Gajor being knocked out, and Clutch, he has to hold himself up, but Salu going down. This is spelling trouble as another nade comes in. Clutch barely surviving with that sliver of HP. No more as ERZ, TRZ go hunting and wipe them out.
Indeed, now the wipe is going to be coming through, but now there are so many teams getting contested in those open grounds. Of course, they all really want to make those rotations inside the circle, but is it going to be that easy as we are talking about it? Now, taking a look at Log1 also throwing those little bit of smokes, but don't really seem like they have a lot of smokes going in the process as well. Now, Witcher seems like a lot of things are not really going right for this man. He is trying his best to just bob and read those bullets. It seems like Magneto is just not going to be able to connect any of those. Managed to connect that one shot barely, but certainly seems like, yeah, he's going to be living for another day. But overall situations over here, Jerry is out in the open as well for XCBS, and now things are just looking so delicate for XCBS. Now, Jerry's the last man standing, of course, but there are so many knocks happening in the process. True Blood Legion is still hanging on.
Yeah, they certainly are. And this is the best day. This is the best. Up in the final day, already sitting at 10 kills, one of their players being knocked out. Will certainly want to get that rest back onto with him, as Jerry, he is outside the zone, but ARZ, TRZ still having that high ground advantage for themselves. On the left hand side, they've lobbed those smokes, trying to create that extra bit of a cover so that they don't get shot from elsewhere. And if ARZ, TRZ come out on top on this one, already having secured 5 kills and 5 points for themselves, and maybe in the final game of Erangel, it might just work out for them. But look at Agent, and now this is surprising. This is new that we're getting to see something from Wolves BD. You know,
yeah.
Where's the aggression been so far in the entire tournament?
I mean, indeed, yeah, this is certainly too late for them showing this kind of plays coming in, but of course, yeah, I mean, it's better to see, you know, a little bit of competition going on over here, but now overall seems like ERZ, TRZ are also looking really healthy, but A19 Tofik going to be taking so much damage onto Rare as well, and Rare finally going down and getting finished instantly by Tofik as well, but just take a look at how much damage Tofik is doing to ERZ, TRZ and wiping the complete existence out of them.
Yes, I mean, what a play coming in from this lad. A 1v3 when it all matters, keeping his team in bay and still in contention over here, as A1 1952 still fight it out for the top 3 spots. And that was a beautiful encounter, and he did not really give up. But now he does need to get inside the circle. All he can do is just pray and make sure that no one is looking at him while he's rotating. That's not going to happen, as Thunder might just spot him down any single moment.
Yep, indeed. Blood Legion going down in the process as well. ERZ, TRZ, we did see just get absolutely decimated by the one-man push over there. But certainly seems like Log 1 sometime over here are looking a little decent. But yeah, they are definitely getting contested from the gaps that are from below those vehicles, of course. But Eccentric this time actually stepping their gameplay up a little bit. But certainly they do have those 3 players going in for themselves as well. But now over here, one of the main teams that we really have our eyes on is of course going to be Wolves, because they are stepping up out of nowhere. Managed to secure those 13 kills, and I mean, certainly, yeah, it is late, but I mean, it is interesting to see, you know?
Yeah, it certainly is. Now look at Kraken. They've again, Log 1 have made themselves present in those final circles, have the blessings of the zone. But Team Eccentric, all those 3 men charging at him. Can Kraken just hold them? The nades are of course going to come out and respond with that free fire, but not being able to do much as Kraken.
Oh my god.
Oh, did he just wipe out the entirety? Yes.
Oh my god.
He did? How?
He did. Inhuman, absolutely best plays coming in from Kraken there. This man is just an absolute insane, and certainly proving himself up. He's on Kraken just eating up humans. But now overall taking a look at the entire situation, Tofik barely surviving outside the zone as well. But now Wolves, Arceus does seem like he does know that he is going to be having, but now he is just going to be outliving the zone. Of course, he is going to be playing for those positioning points as well. He does have those 6 first aids going in as well. But now taking a look at Kraken as well, the last man surviving for Log 1. But how long is he going to be able to keep things live for him? But now Wolves certainly, Arceus just realizes there is one man in the backlines over there, but Tofik doesn't really want to contest any of those fights. He is just playing for the heal battle as he is popping those first aid back after back after back. Nick and Nick, time left for himself all the time, but now Circle is shrinking it through, and finally he is also going to be crumbling down onto his knees.
Yeah, but this brings us to Log 1. Being in still the top 2 position. Kraken, however, being the last man surviving. Yes, he's already been spotted. It's just a matter of seconds before Wolves BD actually go in for that push. Arceus and Agents are actually committing for it and shifted to the Uzi in those close encounters, and spraying down will get that kill confirmed. And with that, Wolves Black Diamond have certainly managed to get a chicken dinner, but with a lot of kills though. But we'll have to see where they are on the position points. Yeah, it's 14, not going to matter a lot.
No.
But teams like Log 1 and A1 1952, oh my goodness, they are raising the bar every single time. Back-to-back consistent performances. I think we might just be going to the final game of Erangel, which is going to be deciding our top 3 spots. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at who the MVP was, and it has to be Agent.
Of course, Asian was doing just so much work overall, and Wolves. I mean, one of the teams that we really didn't expect to pop off this much. Certainly, they were not really able to show up in those initial days. And now, what happened? What did they eat for breakfast this time, though? They certainly did something different over here. They are testing their waters. They are testing new strategies as well. It seems like this time, of course, the aggression paid out. And certainly, Asian going to be the one to actually secure 7 kills and even those massive 1,000+ damage as well. Beautiful number coming in from this man.
Beautiful numbers actually coming out from these lads. Let's take a look at the top players. And sure, I think that Team Wolves came in hungry today because the way they are going in for the chicken dinners, I think these are the ones that are going to be satiating their hunger. But as we move along further, you know, we've got Tawfiq, we've got Cynics, we've got Jigsaw. So Wolves, Jigsaw and Agent doing majority of the job. And Tawfiq, we did see that beautiful, beautiful clutch over there, completely shutting down the players of ERC, TRC, who were completely lost over there. I do not really know what were they doing in the fight, what were they really intending. They had the numbers, they could have easily taken him down, but yeah, it is what it is. But let's take a look at the match summary and we'll get on with our conversation.
I mean, indeed, it was the Uzi just showing its magic, you know, showing its wonder.
He just got that one knock with the Uzi.
Yeah,
the rest came from the N4.
I mean, of course, everything does come down to that opening making up.
Yeah.
Everything come down to that spacing, and then later on, it was those M4s just mowing down heads. And then I really feel like when he got that last kill, he actually managed to hit 2 headshots back to back.
Yeah, I think that's where, you know, N4 really plays a very good role over here. When you try to hip fire with that weapon, it certainly is easy. It's more controllable if you've got your buttstock, if you've got your, you know, all your attachments online. That's a very good weapon. And you know, I think what really won him that fight was his positioning and how he approached